sometimes soon. You're right. What do we know about air? What do we know? Reese, what do we know about air?
Air takes up space because we did that when we put the tissue in the vial.
You're right. So we know that air takes up space. What else do we know? Ava?
Air is dirty all around places. It can be clean in some places where there is smoke.
So you're thinking more about pollution with air? Okay, very good. Anna?
Air is a gas that is invisible.
It's an invisible gas. You're right. Well, boys and girls, today we're going to be talking more about air pressure, like we mentioned before. We're going to be doing a very exciting experiment creating a balloon rocket. So I have this set up for us. So I want you to notice I'm putting my balloon right around the tip of this balloon pump and I'm pinching so no air can escape. So where do you think the air is going to go when I push this? Raise your hand. Jennifer. Inside the balloon. You're right. What do you notice? If I pump it again, do you think it'll get bigger or smaller?
Bigger.
Bigger. What makes you think bigger, Matthew?
Because there's air going into it.
So the air is being transferred from here
It looks like
into
a carrot. No,
Oh, green
like
one.
a lemon.
All right, so I'm going to pump it.
Now it's a pickle. It's a pickle.
And now I'm going to tie it. It kind of does look like a pickle. What do you think?
It's a pickle.
If I were to let go of this, what would happen? Piyush, what would happen if I were to let go? It would go flying. You think so?
Are you gonna try it?
What happens, do you think, if I put my balloon in here?
I know what's gonna happen.
Raise your hand. Avery, what do you think if I let go? What's going to happen?
It's gonna go to the next chair.
You think? Should I try it?
Yeah.
Did you notice? Why is it Remember, if you have something to say, raise your hand and I will tell on you. Sanjay. Why do you think that happened? Oh wait, I'm sorry. Some friends are talking and I can't hear.
The balloon has air in it, and there's holes, so the air goes out and then
Did everyone hear what Sanjay just said?
Yeah.
Sanjay, can you say it one more time in a really loud speaker voice so everyone
The
can hear?
balloon has a hole, there's air in it, so the balloon pushes the back.
So when I put air into my balloon, was the air compressed inside the balloon?
Yes.
Then what happened when I let go of the tip? What happened? Raise your hand. Carter, what are you thinking?
It pushed the Ziploc baggie. The Ziploc baggie come over.
You're right. So when I let go, the rocket went off. Why do you think that is?
Because the it's trapped. He can't go anywhere. Because once you put it in there and it was trying to come over here, the balloon couldn't go anywhere because it was all locked up.
You're right, because I had kind of like a seal. I was pinching right here so no air could escape. All the air was compressed inside the space of this balloon, creating a pressure so that when I let go, all that air pushed out and pushed our balloon rocket along. Anna, what is compressed? Compressed is like when air takes up the size within an object. Remember when we were playing with our syringes and all the air was compressed inside a syringe, and when we pushed on it, it made this pressure to shoot the other syringe up? Remember? Adam.
I know why it didn't go all the way to the end.
Ooh, that's a really good observation. Why do you think it didn't go all the way to the end?
Because it needs more air to go push it all the way.
Very good observation. So you're saying, correct me if I'm wrong, you're saying if I put more air in this balloon that it'll go farther? Let's test it. Let's see. So remember, boys and girls, notice how I'm pumping the balloon? I put it on just the top. I'm pinching my fingers all the way around so no air can escape. Because what would happen if the air escaped?
Oh, it would just go.
Audit, what would happen if I didn't pinch here?
Every time you pushed, the air would go out, and then you push, the air would go out. And
If I pushed, the air would escape out, it would leak out. You're right. So I'm going to make a nice seal. I'm going to pump my balloon. We're going to see if we can add more air if it's going to go further.
Oh.
Think that's good?
Yeah.
Nice and tight.
It's looking like it's a bigger pickle.
It's a bigger pickle. All right. Let's see if it's going to go further. I think you're right, Adam.
Cool.
It went further. The more air. So what happens, boys and girls? Mitchell, what do you think will happen if I just put a little bit of air in here?
And let it go so far.
Test it.
Yeah.
So I'll just do a little bit. Think that's good?
Yeah. Let go of it.
Let's try it. Boys and girls, think about that. Think about that. Did our rocket take off? Raise your hand and tell me why you think that happened. Nandita.
Because there was little air, it's not come to flow.
So not enough air. So think about that though. If I don't put enough air in it, why wouldn't it move? Think about the pressure that we talked about. Avery.
If you just had a little bit, it wouldn't go as far because there's not enough air to push it all the way to the other side.
Absolutely right. Very good. You're right. Because when I let go, that air pressure releases and it propels or pushes our rocket the whole way down. So if there's not a lot of air inside, our balloon rocket isn't going to go very far, is it? No. Sophia, would you like to add something? You forget. So boys and girls, right now I'm going to pass out balloons. I would like you to take your skinnies and write your initials on them.
to keep it?
You may keep them.
Woo! We have to be careful.
No, you don't.
And I will be looking for tables who are sitting quietly to get balloons.
We won't show up.
Once their initials are said,
Don't forget about me.
can you come get one, please? I don't want to mess up the display. Thank you. You're welcome.
It does work.
Yep. So I'm looking for tables who have their initials on their balloon, who are ready to experiment our new balloon rocket with me. Melanie, please join me. All right, let's pump the balloon.
This is so exciting.
Get it? Do you want to hold this one or do you want to pump? Okay, go ahead. Keep going. You tell me. You're in control.
Stop.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay. So why don't you open up the bag? All right, I'll let you pinch right here.
This corn one already has a hole in it.
Okay, ready? And then whenever you're ready, go ahead and let go. Woo! So there was about a medium amount size of air, wouldn't you say? It only went about halfway. Very good. Thank you, Melanie.
Thank you for letting me do
Get a new
it.
one. Here you go, Samantha. Let's see who else is sitting so quietly, ready to join us. Jennifer. You may come on. As she's pumping, I'm looking for another student. Your choice. Your choice. Ahmad, you may join us. Not so big that it'll explode, though. All right, go ahead. Come on up, Ahmad.
Do you like the brains I was
Get your balloon. air pressure, how it pushes. Let's see. Shreya, you may join us. Good? All right. Come on down. Open up the baggie.
I can't really
And you pinch so you can let go. Whenever you're ready. Come on down.
Lucky people.
Okay, go ahead, start pumping. Mitchell, you will be next. Let's send our rocket back. Okay, you ready? Go ahead and pinch. Right here, whenever you're ready. And look up. Woo! Mitchell, ready? Do you want to pinch or pump?
Just send the thing back.
You have to give it back.
No, you have to give the. Go ahead.
Come on, Mitch.
Send it on back. Thank you, Shreya. Wow, you think this one's going to go far or not so far? Oh, I think that's good. I feel like very tight. All right, let's see.
Mr. Squeal, you're direct.
Hey, come on, Mitchell. You can pinch.
look really big, but they're kind of hard to see.
Boys and girls, what did you notice about Mitchell? It did a stunt? What makes you say that, Matthew? Why do you think that is? Think about it. Raise your hand. Think about it. What? Ahmad, why are you thinking that it spun around this way? Oh, wait. You have to listen. Listen to your friends. There was a lot of air in it, so the pressure was so strong that not only was it sending it this way, what else was it doing? What else was it doing, Anna? It flipped it over. There was so much, it was spiraling out of control. All right, who's next? Let's see. Reese, come on down. Go ahead. Think you can pump it? All right, show me.
You doing both? I can too. I caught it. Big pickle. Pickle. Can we lower pickle?
Ready? Whenever you're ready.
Ooh.
Wow. All right, my friends who have already sent their balloon down with the rocket, you may put your balloons in your cubby. Nope, we're not going to tie it. So let's see.
Can you blow this
Who
one?
else? Carter, come on down. So Jennifer, Mitchell, Ahmad. Oh wait, yours is Pearl.
Ahmad made a big pickle.
Go ahead, Reese. So do you think Carter's is going to go a short distance or a long distance?
Let's eat this.
Good. Got it? Whenever you're ready. All right, boys and girls, so now we're going to be doing a visible thinking routine. It's okay, remember what Miss Pine said? That we can always finish up for my friends who didn't get a turn yet when we're done with our routine. Grace, you can come get one right over here.
I need
You might know that, Carter. Somebody else might know those lights. Alright, boys and girls, give me 5, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what visible thinking routine will we be doing today? What do you think? What do you think? Anvi, what do you think, sweetheart? The balloon rocket, but what visible thinking routine? Boys and girls, if you're playing with your balloons, I'd like to put your balloons in your cup. Put them in your cup. Everyone needs to put their balloon in their cup so it's not distracting for us while we're doing our visible thinking routine. Carter, what are you thinking?
Claim support question.
Claim support question.
Can I
Nice.
see some?
Oh, you didn't know one? I'm sorry. Here you go, sweetheart. Claim support question. You're absolutely right. So claim, what do you think our claim will be? What did you notice with our balloon rockets and the amount of air about it? Yush, what are you thinking? That was one thing that we noticed, but did all of the balloon rockets spin?
No.
Not all of them. Some of them did. Melanie, what are you thinking?
The more air pressure in the balloon, the faster it will go.
The more air pressure in the balloon, the faster we'll go. So boys and girls, please write your name and the date. Today is March 8th. And then write the word claim. Claim. So Melanie, will you repeat that please? What was our claim?
The more air pressure in the balloon, the faster it will go.
The more air pressure in the balloon. What do you mean by air pressure?
I mean like air in the balloon.
More air in the balloon?
Yeah.
Very good. So let's write that. So the more air in the balloon, the farther it traveled.
Yeah.
Very good. What would our support be?
I didn't finish.
It's okay, sweetheart. As you're finishing up writing the claim, think about the support. How do we know that that's true? Reese.
Because every time we pumped air, the balloon got bigger, and we put it, and we also tested it. We put more air in the balloon.
So we tested when we pumped more air into the balloon, we noticed that it traveled farther. When we only put a little bit of air in the balloon, what happened?
It didn't.
What happened, Alex?
It didn't. It barely traveled. It was like beep.
You're right. It barely traveled at all. So boys and girls, let's write the word support.
I wrote in the second line, so I'm keeping and going to the next line.
That's okay, sweetheart. As long as you have your claim written and your support. So for support, let's say we experimented with lots of air.
How we spell experimented? I can't see.
I'll show you. Can you see that? We experimented with lots of air traveled a longer distance. Oh, the word distance makes me think of measurement in math. Do you think we could measure how far the balloon traveled? We probably could, you're right. So then what happened when we only put a little bit of air inside our balloon?
Didn't go so far.
Didn't go so far.
It didn't go anywhere.
Well, it depends on how much air, right, Reese? If there was just a little bit, maybe the air just escaped, but it wasn't enough to really push and propel our rocket down the
Because
maybe just a little inch, Piyush, you're right. So we'll continue to write that for support. If the balloon only had a little bit of air it did not travel very far. Very good. What questions do you have about our support?
I didn't finish. What about questions? Clean support question.
You're right. We still need questions. I'll give you a second to copy it down. Not really a second. Sometime. Oh, I noticed some of my friends are already moving on to write the word question. They know what's coming next. So when you think about the word question, what do you wonder about air with our balloon rockets?
I only have 4 lines.
Okay, you can always write on the back, sweetheart. What questions do you have about balloon rockets? Yandita.
Why did let the rocket go? If there's more air in, why did it spin and go?
And why did it spin and go? Good question. Why do you think?
Because there was more air.
Because there's more air. There was so much. It was kind of all the pressure was reaching. It was spiraling out of control. Sometimes that happened. Did that happen all the time with every balloon that had a lot of air?
No,
Not every time. Melanie.
Do you have to use an air pump to do you have to use an air pump to pump the balloon to make it go? Because I can't really blow the balloon rocket.
Okay. So what do you think? Class, what do you think? Raise your hand. Do you think you have to use the balloon pump in order for this to work?
No.
What else could you do? If you didn't have a balloon pump at home, how else could you do this experiment to make it work? How else could you do it? Someone I haven't heard from yet. Lakshmi. How else could you do this? How else could you solve this problem? You didn't have a balloon pump at home, but you still wanted to do this. How could you do it? Where could you find the air?
We can blow it in our mouth.
You could.
Bigger.
You're right. Just like you could blow a balloon at home, Ava, not right now though, I'm not experimenting with it. You could if you didn't have a balloon pump. Why do you think it would work the same? Think about what you're putting into the balloon.
Our air in our mouth. We have to put in the balloon in our mouth and blow bigger. How bigger is that? We have to blow it like this.
So you could, you're right, blow the balloon with your mouth. You could continue to blow the air that's inside your body, push it into the balloon. You could, and when you're blowing bigger and bigger and bigger, what's going to happen?
stop?
Well, eventually it could, but what if you stopped like we did when we stopped pumping the air in?
Sometimes we need to stop. We want little bit or more. We can stop.
You can control the amount of air you put in the balloon? Absolutely right.
And we have to put through. We have to take a big air in our mouth. Our cheeks are getting
You can capture. Sharpen your pencil.
bigger. And the balloon is so bigger.
You're right. Very good. Thank you for sharing. Alex, what are you thinking?
Now that's the question.
Okay, what's your question? You're thinking of what, Dawn? Confused.
How does the air get inside the air?
How does the air get inside the air pump? That's a really good question. Let's look at that. How do you think the air might get inside this air pump?
There's
Why don't you look at it? What are you thinking?
there's holes in the bottom. That's our question.
What else do you think? Does this kind of remind you of something else we experimented with? Raise your hand. Rashidi, what does this remind you of? Kind of like a syringe, because I know some of you might not be able to see, but Miss Klein, I can see this nice black line that's kind of like a rubber stopper, like our syringe. So we know that all the air is compressed in here.
I can see numbers on it.
There are numbers on it. You're right, Mitchell. Good observation.
We blow
All right, so let's, if you have a question, boys and girls, go ahead and write it down where we wrote question. If you don't have a question, that's okay, because we've already talked about some questions.
I don't have a
Anna. Something you can use? Is it quick? Pardon? You're right. Just like a ball pump, like a balloon pump. Same
What's a
concept.
ball
Trapping
pump?
the air. Blowing it. Ambi. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Some friends are chit-chatting. Are there any other questions? What questions do you have? Ahmad. In a loud speaker voice, sweetheart. What's your question? You're right, and we could even measure that. We don't have enough time today, but maybe a later time we'll have enough time to measure the distance if you only have a little bit of air and compare it to the distance if you had a lot of air. Very good. All right. Thank you, boys and girls. I'm looking for tables who can put their visible thinking routine in their cubbies.